6 days from now, I'll be towing the start line at the Snowbasin Ski Resort for the Utah Spartan Ultra, which is a 50K obstacle course race. I'm hoping this race happens because right now, looking at the air quality report, it's not very good in the Salt Lake area due to wildfires. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. In today's video, I want to share with you the kit that I'll be wearing on the race course, along with the transition gear and food that I'll be having to hopefully complete the race. So a lot of people I've seen go out and do these ultras, these Spartan Ultras, and they don't even realize that there's a transition area. It's usually halfway through the race or about 17 miles, and then they make you do a 13 mile, which is the beast distance lap. So I'm hoping that's the same case here because it's a downhill slide after you get out of the transition area. So I'm going to start off talking about my clothing and gear options, and then I'm going to go into nutrition and hydration, and then I'll just talk about the standard kit that I'll be having for the actual transition area, just to troubleshoot any problems you've encountered during the race, along with additional nutrition and hydration. So let's get started. I'll be putting these on my feet. They're the Ultra Lone Peaks 4.5. I've worn this style of shoe a lot. It's never given me any problems. It's going to be hot out there in Utah. Hot and sunny. I always wear toe socks. And here's a little pro tip. If you wear the Ingenue toe socks or these ExoSkin toe socks, make sure before you leave your house that you have a right and a left pair, not a right foot and right foot. So that's just a little gear check to make sure you don't have a problem come race morning. I do like to wear the compression sleeves, the compression calf sleeves. They keep your legs protected from all the rope obstacles, such as the Tyrolean Traverse or the rope climb. Going from there, I like to go with tights just to provide a little bit more protection, and they're tight fitting in case you're going through mud or brush or whatever. They're not going to get hung up on stuff. I'll be wearing a tank top because I'm expecting it to be super hot out there and I want to stay cool. But with that tank top comes the threat of sunburn. So make sure you're wearing your sunburn. So make sure you're wearing sunscreen before you get on the course. I got this hat right here. I like to call it the terrorist hat. So that's going to protect the back of my neck and hopefully keep me from getting sunburned. You got to have sunglasses. So one note on the sunscreen, try to use the spray sunscreen or try to use a bar. If you're applying sunscreen with your hands like a lotion, that could cause you a problem when you're encountering grip obstacles. You could be slipping off of the monkey bars or the rings. So don't use sun lotion. Use a spray or use a bar to apply the sun protection to your body. I'll be wearing this Craft race belt just to store extra nutrition in it. And over here, I'll be going with the Garmin Fenix 5. Here's another little pro tip. Make sure you pack your charging cord. And then I will be wearing a old school age group, competitive group marker to protect the timing chip. What I do is I put the timing chip on my wrist, and then I put a wristband over the top to protect it. That way, hopefully the timing chip will not come off during the race. You need that timing chip when you cross the finish line to prove that you finished the Spartan Ultra to get one of those cool belt buckles. One more note on the watch. I only keep track of a couple things. One is total time. 2 is lap time. So I'll hit the lap marker when I go into the transition area. You want to get in and out of that transition area as fast as possible. You don't want to be sitting there. I've seen a lot of people tap out. They sit there and they get comfortable. Get in, get out. You hit the lap so you can keep yourself honest and see how far you've been in there. My goal is to get in and out in under 7 minutes. The other thing I keep track of is total mileage and total elevation. Other than that, I don't care about pace, heart rate, or anything like that. I want to make sure that I'm not focused on the watch and I'm focused on the course in front of me. I do set an alert for every 30 minutes reminding me to eat and or drink if you have a problem drinking. For my vest, I'm going with the S-Lab, Solomon S-Lab vest. Now this one's pretty minimalistic, which I want to keep the weight down and keep me cool. And I'll go over what I'm going to be carrying in that vest next. I do carry this out on the course with me. It's a sunscreen bar along with sunscreen for my my lips. So I'm expecting super hot weather. Man, I'm telling you, part of this thing is just surviving the elements. So let's get into nutrition and hydration next. How much food should you bring? How many calories should you bring on this? Well, it really comes down to how long do you think you're going to be out there. So for me, let's say the first lap is going to be 17 miles because that's what I've been seeing on my last few Spartan Ultras. So let's assume that it's going to be 17 miles. I'm hoping for me, for my fitness level, I'm thinking at that altitude and probably a lot of elevation gain and descent since it's at a ski resort, I'm expecting it, if I'm lucky, I'm hoping I can finish the first 17 miles in 5 hours. But I should plan on being out there for at least 6 hours. You know, I would like to finish this race in 10 hours or under, but it'll probably end up taking me 11 to 12 hours. I always learn to overestimate what you think you're going to finish in. Because that second lap, even though it's a shorter distance, you're already pretty much smoked and you're going to be going a lot slower. So what I'm going to do on the first lap is I'm going to carry 6 hours worth of nutrition. And on the second lap, I'll probably carry 5 to 6 hours of nutrition. So let's go into what I'm carrying for food. So starting the race off, I'll be carrying the stuff over here. So I like to use this Hammer Perpetuum, and the orange vanilla tastes pretty good in hot weather. So I'll already start off with one bottle mixed. I'll have a throwdown bottle, which will be empty. I'll just put the powder in it, and then I'll roll the bottle up and place it into my hydration vest. In case I get in serious trouble and I'm about to bonk, I can pull this out at a hydration station. I can fill it up with water, and hopefully I'm nearly at the end of the race, or I'm almost back to the transition area. This is just in case of emergency. So this will be on me during the whole race. This also serves another purpose. If this water bottle for some reason fails, I have this one as a backup. So I have had these nipples here. I've had these pop off before. Luckily, I figured it at the time, and I was able to cap them. So you should have a spare just in case something goes wrong. In the belt and the hydration vest, I'll be carrying this stuff right here. So basically, this is every hour. So this is 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, 6 hour, and really this is an emergency one also, 7 hours. You should probably bring a little extra food with you. Also in my vest, I mean, cramping and hydration is going to be a major issue in this race. So I like to carry these Enduro lights with me. They're just an electrolyte tablet or capsule that you can pop 2 an hour or 1 an hour, whatever you think's best. I've trained with that before. I usually do 2 every hour. And so I'll be carrying a bunch of that with me on my person. Also, that's nice to have in case you come across somebody who's having a really bad day. You can throw them a couple electrolyte capsules, maybe help them finish the race. Same thing goes for food. That's why you always want to carry extra food, just not for yourself, but you might be able to help somebody in a bad situation. So now I'm into the transition area. And so I'll have basically some extra stuff here just in case it's a really bad day. I can double up on this stuff. What I find is under heat, man, I like salty kettle chips. So I'll be having some of those. I'm also gonna hopefully have the ability to have some fresh cut watermelon. I find that to be just magical for me in hot conditions. When I leave the transition area, this is what I'll be carrying. So now I'm hoping I'm out of the transition area at 5 hours and 5 minutes, but let's assume that. 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours. That's a 12-hour day. So I basically have enough food here to last me for 12 hours. I'm hoping I'm off that dang course after 12 hours. We'll see. Could be a very long day. That's all the more reason just to carry a little extra food just in case. So this is going to be a super hot, exhausting race, and you're at altitude. So you need to be sure to be eating and drinking. I'm basically coming from sea level. So I'm going to be burning a lot more calories at altitude. So I got to be really disciplined to be eating every 30 minutes so I don't have the wheels just come off at mile 23 or something. So this is a eating and drinking contest for me. I don't want to get dehydrated, and I don't want to bonk and run out of calories. It's a miserable experience. So when I roll into the transition area, and I don't even like that term, transition area, I like to call it reload area. I'm reloading and I'm out of there. So it's going to be super hot. So I'm going to be using vacuum insulated stainless steel bottles with ice that I'll pack up that morning so I can have some cold beverages. So in it, I'm going to have basically this bottle right here. I'll be using some coconut water, and I'll be drinking that while I'm at the transition area. In this bottle over here, I'm basically going to have ice water mixed, pre-mixed to save on time with some of this electrolyte stuff. I'll probably end up slamming half of that bottle too, but then I'll fill up my hydration bottle over here to exit the transition area. Don't expect that there's going to be any water at the transition area. So you need to bring your own water. Having said that also, it's going to be super hot out there. So whatever you put in your transition bucket, bin, bag, or whatever, don't put chocolate in there. It's going to be a melty mess. So you got to think about, can it be stored at high heat? And I would expect 100 degrees, possibly 110 degrees. Be careful what you store it in. Are you basically putting it into some type of container that acts as an oven? So what I'm going to do is I got one of these little soft-sided cheapy coolers here. I'm going to put some of those blue ice packs in it, and I'm hoping I can stuff some cut watermelon in there, and it will keep it cool, so when I get there I can have some cold watermelon, and then I got my cold coconut water and that kind of stuff. So always pack extra food and just keep drinking and have some electrolyte products out there with you, okay? So let's get down to what I carry at the reload area. Let's get down to what I have at the reload area just for contingency. So this is a little storage bag I got off of Amazon. And what I like to do is I like to build kits. And that way I don't have to think about what I have. The kit's already prepared. I can just grab it and go. Instead of scrambling at the last minute and stressing out about what I have and what I don't have. So let me open this up and show you what's in my kit. So on this outside patch, I like to keep some athletic tape and a basic first aid kit with Band-Aids and that kind of stuff in it. Pretty basic stuff, just, you know, your Red Cross first aid products, something that you would need. Maybe you have blisters. So in the kit, I just have basic first aid stuff, more pre-cut strips. I got Pepto-Bismol. I got some bandaging, duct tape, man, that stuff comes in handy. Tweezers, gauze bandages, some assortment of Band-Aids. So just good thing to have. You don't want to have to go to that medical tent. It's going to take you time, and you're probably going to end up quitting. So take care of yourself. Don't go to the medical tent. So you need to have your own medical supplies ready to go. So in this pocket right here, now this probably won't be applicable at the Salt Lake race because it's going to be like 110 degrees, but hand warmers, emergency poncho, basically an emergency gigantic space blanket, and this is for when you finish. Now I've finished a couple of these ultras, and if it's basically under 55 degrees with any type of wind and you've been out there for 8 to 12 hours and you're wet, your body is going to get super cold, and it's amazing. You know, you can become hypothermic is what I'm trying to tell you. And so this way you can break this bad boy out, you can wrap yourself up, you can go get your ultra medal, and you don't have to be leaving the race venue with your tail tucked between your legs, looking like a jackhammer with your teeth chattering. So you got to think about when you finish the race also, what kind of condition you're going to be in and what will I need. Now, obviously this won't be applicable at Salt Lake, but I like to have it with me all the time, so I don't even have to think about it. Always carry a spare pair of shorts. I've seen people rip their gear out on the course. I've seen ass cheeks hanging out, and you know, I don't want to be out there for 8 to 12 hours with my butt cheek hanging out, or maybe something else, if you know what I mean. Spare pair of socks, good thing to have. So now you can bring an extra top if you want, if you need that, depending on the weather conditions and that kind of stuff. Now, when you're running the Spartan Ultras, so what you do is you got to have a jersey. They're gonna make you put one of these jerseys on right here, so they know that you're an ultra competitor and you're not trying to sneak around and defeat the system. So the purple jersey will be on, so keep that in mind. Now, I'm 6 feet tall, about 175 pounds. I actually like wearing the kids jersey. It's a little smaller. There's 2 sizes, like kids and then giant. So I like to go with the kids jersey just to keep things tight. So let's go back down to this kit because I forgot to tell you about something else. You need toe glide, if that's something you need. And somewhere in here, I got Body Glide. So put that stuff on in the morning before you get out of the hotel room, wherever you're staying, and then throw it into this little kit. And so if you're at the transition area and you got some chafe, you can take care of the chafe. So that's a quick overview of what I bring for a Spartan Ultra in my reload kit. So you got any questions, put them in the comments. Hopefully you've learned something on this today and it's brought you some value. I've seen a ton of people out there not knowing what they're doing and the wheels just fall off anywhere from like mile 17 to mile 23. If you're not experienced at this stuff, you got to remember, this is an eating and drinking contest. So keep eating and drinking every 30 minutes. So good luck out there, and Aroo.